I don't know about you, but I love super easy breakfast, particularly breakfast that I can either make ahead of time or have all the ingredients ready to just throw together in the morning. And this granola recipe is something that allows me to do just that. I love this recipe because I can use what I've got on hand that I want to use up, ingredients that I've got, and then also have an easy, super easy breakfast for almost a week. I like to have granola with milk if I want it really simple, or over yogurt with some sort of fruit. And then also, actually, my favorite way to enjoy granola is to have it on top of a smoothie. This granola recipe is fantastic. It's a high protein granola recipe, which means that it's gonna help you fill up and then to stay full and to stay satisfied until lunch, which is always a fantastic thing. The worst thing in the morning is to have a breakfast, feel satisfied with that, and then all of a sudden an hour later to just be hungry again. And that's not what this granola does. So again, fantastic granola, easy, a great way to use up what you've got on hand. I've got a couple of different ingredients that I want to use up and think would be really great in this granola recipe. And so let's just get started. All right, so I am actually starting this recipe by heating up some peanut butter. I just have a tiny bit of peanut butter in this jar, but again, I want to use that up. So I am going to pour some of this honey. So I'm adding about a half a cup of honey to this peanut butter. And so I'm going to heat this up just for like 5-10 seconds, just so it's spreadable, and then I will mix it into my oats. All right, so I heated this up for about 15 seconds in the microwave, and the honey is all melted and liquefied, and then I'm just going to mix it up with the peanut butter so it all comes out easily. And then I'm just drizzling it in to my oatmeal mixture. So I'm going to mix this all together. I'm actually going to get everything out first because you don't want to miss out on any of the peanut butter goodness. Use whatever kind of nut butter you like or whatever you've got. So I'm going to leave that, and then I'm also going to add about a tablespoon of peanut butter powder. Again, that's going to add a lot of flavor to it, make it really delicious, and extra protein, which is going to help you get through the morning. And I eyeballed it, so I'm just going to make sure that it's all together. Sometimes it's easier to just mix with your hands though than a spatula, especially with these oats, because they can really glop together, and then you've got a lot of them that don't have any of the honey mixture on it. So just going to use my hands now. So much easier, and it's fun to feel the food too. All right, so I'm just going to, this is all mixed up, so now I am going to get all of the other ingredients to add to it, to add lots of different textures, flavor, and most of all crunch to this granola. And now I'm just gonna add whatever ingredients I've got on hand. So I've got some chia seeds. I really like adding chia seeds to granola because it adds a really nice crunch and a little bit of not brown color. Also have sliced almonds that I have had for a long time, so I'm gonna pour those in there. And hemp hearts, because I've got them. They add also a nice little crunch. I'm actually gonna add a little bit more peanut butter powder, adding about 1 to 2 tablespoons depending on how peanut butter you like it. And again, that's gonna add more protein. And then, quite possibly the best part, adding in some chocolate chips. So these chocolate chips will be nice because just like in chocolate chip cookies, they will get soft and kind of meld in with the granola, but they're not gonna melt completely, which is what you want, because you still want a little bit of that texture there. So I'm just gonna not lose my chocolate chips. I'm just mixing this all together so it's evenly incorporated, because you don't want a bite with only oats and another bite with 100 chocolate chips. You want it all to be pretty even, and this is a messy process, which is fun, and that way every time you have to pick something up or touch it, then you can taste it on your fingers to see how the flavor is going. Now that I've got this all done, I will transfer it to a baking sheet. As you can see, this isn't a ton, but it's great if you're cooking for one, so you don't have to have cups and cups and cups of leftover granola that you're tired of eating. But you can also make a lot and then just use it or freeze it for later, and then that way you don't have to make it again. All right, so I will be putting this in a 350-degree oven for about 15-20 minutes. I definitely recommend taking it out about halfway in and stirring it up, making sure that nothing gets burnt. Because some of these pieces that are not as thick as others are going to cook up faster and they might get burnt. So recommend stirring it and then also making sure that the pieces are pretty even. All right, so the granola has been in the oven. I cooked it for 10 minutes, stirred it around, and then cooked it for another 10 minutes.